Good morning, good morning, good morning, friends. How is everyone doing? I see we've got the Major in here. Good afternoon, Major. I do have to remember you're on a different timestamp than we are. How are you doing? We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to come in. Look at me. I got my tiara on today. It's a special tiara. I'll tell you about it a little bit here. Once we see if anybody else is going to join us, or is this just a private viewing today, Major? Are you going to be the only one? Have I disenfranchised all my friends and nobody's going to come in today? I don't know. It's a very windy day today. The wind is just howling outside and it's overcast and it's gray and it's dreary. So hopefully I won't have any internet issues this morning. But I've got my coffee and I've got my warm sweater on because it is cold this morning. So just checking out to see what we've got here. I see that my live stream keeps coming up with this little thing that says maybe I've got an issue with my signal. So if you can see and hear me, let me know so I'm not just talking to myself. So how's everyone doing? Again, it just says 0. I don't know if anybody's in here or not. I don't even know if the Major is still here or if I'm even recording. I'm just going to talk to myself like I got good sense. Although lately I question if I do. So anyways, I've got little chats going on the side. Good morning, Denise. How are you? Welcome in. So let me tell you a little bit about my little purple tiara this morning. I love this little tiara. It's not real. It's probably from the dollar store, but it is a little tiara that my mother had for her birthdays when she was still with us. And I kept it when I was going through her belongings the day that she passed away. I came across her little tiara that we used to use for her birthdays and I kept it. And even though it probably only cost $1, it's one of those things that just kind of bring a smile to my face. My granddaughter was here one day, the little one that you see in my shorts quite often with the dark hair. And she was here one day and she said, "Oh, Grandma, can I have that tiara?" And I was like, "No, no, you can't have this. This is my precious. Someday I'll probably pass it on to her when she'll understand the importance of it. Maybe after I'm long gone, maybe she'll wear it on her birthday and say, "My grandma used to wear this on her birthday." Wouldn't that be nice if we could pass it down through 3 generations? Good morning, Kate, listening from work. We're glad you're here. So the reason I am wearing it is it's my birthday week. Not my birthday, that's tomorrow. Is this crooked? It is. You know what? I've had quite the week. I feel like it needs to be crooked. Have you ever? I'm going to go into a little bit of a confessional right now for my birthday. Have you ever, because this is in my heart and it's on my heart, and I've had issues with it today. I've had issues with it for a while now. But have you ever seen that meme that says, "Be the kind of woman," thank you, "be the kind of woman that straightens another woman's crown without telling her that it needed to be straightened"? I don't know exactly how it goes, but sometimes there's no need to point out someone's faults, but maybe just kind of help them fix it, not say anything. I've got my faults, friends. I've got my faults. We all do. And sometimes we're oblivious to our faults, and sometimes our faults smack us right in the face. And every once in a while, I will let a burr get under my saddle, and it'll rub me raw. And then I just become crazy. Thank you, Major. We all need little hidden horns under our hair to keep our crowns and our halos from falling off. That is so true, Kate. That is so true. Well, I was in a friend's live yesterday, and I think things were going quite well, and we're having a nice little chat. And I don't know, something just, I'm not going to name names, but I acted childish. Something triggered me, and I did not wear my poker face, and I became ugly. Not brutally ugly. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. all I can say is I went to bed not feeling very good about myself. So my tiara is a little crooked this morning. But I didn't hide my poker face. I let my face do my talking for me. You've all heard of that term of like a resting bee face. Mine wasn't resting. I kind of let it known that I was a little miffed. And it wasn't the other person's fault. This is me. This is me owning up to me I wasn't being very nice. So I went to bed feeling a little ugly about myself last night because that's not who I am. It's really not who I am. And when I act that way, I don't like it. I don't like that about myself when I allow things to get to me like that. I've been told that my face conveys my thoughts a bit too well. Good morning, Heather Lynn. Major, I was not intentionally misbehaving. When I intentionally misbehave, you guys know, and it's usually kind of fun and on the cusp of really being inappropriate. But yesterday, I allowed my face to convey my thoughts, and I realized as soon as I did it, I realized it. And then I overcompensated, which made it worse in my mind. Now, other people might not have even thought anything of it. You don't like having that you're an idiot face. I was the idiot. I just reacted poorly to something. Now, see, there's that little signal that lets me know. I'm wondering if I'm freezing up on you guys. Let me know if I'm freezing up, because in the very top corner, I've got that little signal bar and it's down to 1 bar. It's really windy here today. So I'm wondering if maybe my chat is not quite where it needs to be. Heather Lynn, I missed your live last week because Danny and I were spending time together in my garden. That's so wonderful, Heather Lynn. Good morning, Laura. Hello there. Laura, I have your, okay, good. I'm not freezing. Good. I have one of your videos queued up in my watch later because you went to Loretta Lynn restaurant. I've got this one piece of hair. It's just bugging the crud out of me. I just want it to lay down and not be sticking out all funny. So I'm going to be watching that later because I want to see that Loretta Lynn. You guys know, and see, here's where I tell my stories, and then everybody later is like, what? I should bring this up later, but I'm going to share it today. Papa Jim and I, that was our first date. Our very first date after we got together. I'll share the story sometime about how we actually got together. But our very first date where he asked me to go out on a date was to the drive-in movies to see Coal Miner's Daughter with Loretta Lynn's story. Sissy Spacek was Loretta Lynn, and that was our very first date. So I kind of have an affinity for Loretta Lynn. Papa Jim and I, he used to have an 8-track tape of Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty. And I had a little boom box that played 8 tracks, and we would put that 8-track in, and we would set it on my mom's little side table. And I always had the chore of doing the dishes. And Papa Jim used to come up and spend the weekends with us. We lived about 50 miles apart while we were dating. So every once in a while, my parents would let him come up for the weekend, made him sleep way out in the trailer. And, but when I would do dishes, Papa Jim wouldn't just let me do the dishes. He would join me to do the dishes. David Gray. Hello, David Gray. Welcome in. Alicia, I've not been on as much the past couple weeks because my other half is finally back from Texas for a good, along with his 18-year-old son. Both have full-time jobs, so things are going to be easier. That's wonderful, Kate. And you know what? Family always comes first, period. Family always comes first, so no worries. Hello, Tiny Tim. Good morning. Welcome in. Just telling a little story about Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty. So, Papa Jim would put in the Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty 8-track tape. And it's funny because he would stand at the sink with me, and we were just so into each other. Now, you have to remember, I'm 14 and he's 16, that I would stand on one side of the sink, he's on the other. I would wash, he would rinse and stack to dry. Well, we did this while holding hands. So we would hold hands in the middle of the sink. I would wash with one hand. I would wash a dish and hand it to him. He'd take it with his free hand and rinse it and then stack it. And we would wash the dishes holding hands. And my mother just thought that was the most adorable thing. She would tease us all the time about holding hands. We held hands all the time. Oh my goodness. Somebody said that their mother loved Conway Twitty. David Gray says, my mom loved Conway Twitty. Yes, he had a voice, didn't he? And some of his songs still move me to tears. But Papa Jim, when we were together for 1 year, it was just around our 1 year anniversary. So I'm 15, he's 17. We had gone to Six Flags in Southern California. And we got to spend the whole day together at Six Flags. We had a wonderful time. And Conway Twitty was there, and he was going to be doing a concert at Six Flags. It's like, oh my gosh, let's go see Conway Twitty. Keep in mind, I'm 15 years old. How old was Conway Twitty? In his 50s, maybe? I don't know. And so we go to this little amphitheater where Conway Twitty is going to be performing in Six Flags. And we're sitting there, and the curtain's drawn, and everybody's anticipating the start of this little concert. And out from underneath the curtain pokes this cowboy boot. And everybody in the audience thinks it's Conway Twitty. So they're yelling and screaming. I'm whistling. I'm whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm having a good time and everything. And the boot would go back out. And the boot would come back out. And I'd yell and scream, thinking it's Conway Twitty, right? Everybody did. Papa Jim starts doing this. He's shutting down on me, right? I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, well, if you like him so much, why don't you just marry him? He was jealous. He was so jealous. And it probably was just a backhand stage person. It wasn't Conway Twitty. I didn't even think to look at Conway Twitty's boots when he came out to even see if it was Conway Twitty. It probably wasn't. But it ruined the whole day. The whole rest of the day was ruined. And we still joke about it. Because anytime we have the radio on and we hear, hello, darling, he just gives me this look and I'm like, oh God, it's the whole Conway Twitty thing again. He was so jealous of him, but he really did have such a sweet, sultry voice. Just saying a quick hello. Happy birthday to Glenda. She's saying happy birthday to me. Today's really her birthday. She and I are our little birthday friends. And yesterday was Daz's birthday over at my Aussie Garden and Kitchen. You like the little tiara there? This was my mama's. She used to wear it on her birthday, and I'm wearing it on my birthday now. So we still joke about Conway Twitty anytime Hello Darling comes on, because I do remember when he finally did come out on stage and he sat on a bar stool and he's like, hello, darling. And he starts singing. I was like, woo, and he's just getting more and more upset with me. And, for days, if you just like Conway Twitty so much, you should just go marry him. It was so funny. We were so immature. So immature, and to think that a few short months after that we were expecting our first baby. Oh my God, we were so immature. Babies having babies. But I love Conway Twitty's song about his daddy. That's my job. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a tearjerker. I cry and cry and cry when I hear that one. I can't help it. Years after, I still cry. And I often think sometimes about Loretta Lynn and the heartaches that she's had in her life. Conway Twitty, I think, was one of her very dearest friends. Patsy Cline passed away way too early. And then, then she lost Dew and Conway. And, I'm just wondering, headed to lunch in the country. Oh, how wonderful. Have a wonderful birthday lunch in the country, my friend. I'm so glad you get to go out and have a wonderful lunch. Denise has said, what are you doing tomorrow? She wants to see me tomorrow for my birthday. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what hubby will have to work. And I don't know what my boys, I don't know. I might end up going to lunch somewhere. I might end up just staying here on the farm in my jammies. Shh, I'm in my pajama bottoms right now because it's cold. I'm not even going to get fully dressed today. Well, thank you, Tiny Tim, for reminding everybody to smash the button. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So yes, it's my birthday week. And Monday, Papa Jim said, okay, tomorrow I've got a really important package showing up. And, UPS is here every day. UPS, FedEx, the mailman, whatever. They're always here. And so he says, I'm expecting a package. And I said, okay, who's bringing it? And he says, I think it's going to be just the regular mailman. He says, but don't let it sit outside. because sometimes people will deliver things. I've got this really cute little country little sign that says deliveries, and it points to my summer kitchen. So everything gets put in the summer kitchen. Not everybody reads it. I remember when my ukulele was delivered, it was pouring rain, and the UPS man pulled up, wrapped it in a flimsy little plastic bag, and left it in the middle of the driveway in the rain. And it's a wooden ukulele. So they don't always look at the sign that says, please put deliveries here. So he wanted to make sure that this box didn't stay out. We also have an issue of our one dog will tear open the boxes and just rip into everything and it's strewn all over the front yard. And he ordered a whole bunch of body wash for me one time, some really nice Neutrogena body wash, like 5 bottles of it of different scents. And by the time we realized that the dog had gotten into it, I had pulled into the yard and ran over one of the bottles, completely destroying it. And she had chewed off the little pumps off of all of the other bottles. We had to order all new pumps. So I think he was worried that I was going to let the dog get a hold of it. So I thought it was dog treats or something like that. Husband has been in the hospital since Monday. Oh no, Denise. Between the two of you, you guys are really funding those college funds for all of those doctors' kids and grandkids, aren't you? We need to stop that. We need to keep you guys out of the hospital. I'm sorry to hear that, Denise. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for the thumbs up reminders. Look at Lisa being good, saying hello to everybody. Oh, did Huga jump in here and I didn't see Huga? Hello, CB. Welcome in. Welcome in. So the package comes yesterday, and I was actually editing a video, and I stopped what I was doing, ran outside to make sure I could get this package, make sure it didn't get rained on, because our weather has just been something awful. Mother Nature just PMSing. And I ran out there and I got this box, and it was a rather large box, brought it in. And Papa Jim got home last night and he says, oh, my package. I said, yeah, it's right here. Here's your package. And he goes, thank you for bringing that in. I was really worried about it. No problem. Of course. So he picks up this really big box, and he's standing there in the kitchen with it. And then he puts his arms out and he goes, happy birthday. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, this is yours. I had no idea. I thought it was something for the dogs or a car part or something, because he's always got something showing up, or something for his new fish tank, because he's been getting filters and all kinds of stuff for his new fish tank that he got. And he's like, happy birthday. It's like, oh. So we needed a surface to put it on, and I had stuff on the kitchen counter because I was getting ready to prepare dinner. So we took it into the bedroom, set it on the bed, and he gets his knife out and he cuts it open. And I open it up and I started tearing up right away, because it was like, oh my gosh darn it. So let me show you what I got. Let me check real quick here. Happy birthday, says Laura. Thank you. If I missed anyone listening in, because I have to get a ton done before 5:00 tonight. Yes, Lisa. I hear you, boy. We are just so all busy in our lives. And again, family and farm comes first. We all agree and understand that. So let me show you what was in the box. And now that I think back on it, I should have picked up on hints better. But look. Oh, it's heavy on my wrist. Look what I got. I got a new laptop. And it's a big one. It's a big laptop. Isn't that neat? New laptop. And all of my boys, my husband got in on a group chat. I don't know if it was a group chat or a group phone call, but I guess they all got together on the phone and they all decided that they would all pitch in and get me this great new laptop. So I'm so happy, because the one that I'm coming to you on right now, my son in California, this is a refurbished laptop. He fixed it all up for me. And I think you guys have probably heard this before. He fixed this laptop up and he brought it out after I finished chemo. He came out to spend about a week with us, and he brought me this laptop. He's like, Mom, you got to do YouTube. You need to do YouTube. And he was pointing at things around the house. You see this? That would have been a good video. This would have been a good video. Do you see that thing you did over there? That would have been a good video. The animals, those would have been good videos. You need to do YouTube. And I still put it off for, 2 years. But he gave me this laptop with the full intent of me doing YouTube. And so I have, and I thanked him so much for doing that for me. And but it's starting to lag a little bit. I mean, it's taken me forever to render videos. I rendered a video for tomorrow. That's our crochet video. It took 10 hours to render. I had to render it overnight. It took 10 hours. So I'm hoping, and I've been kind of voicing like, gosh darn it, it's taken me forever. So everybody got together, they discussed it, and they came up with this laptop. And my son in California is in IT. So I'm going to be able to install a program on here where it's a sharing program. He's going to be able to log onto my computer from California. He's going to get in there and just clean it all up, get rid of stuff I don't need, put stuff on that I do need for my editing. And I'm just thrilled. I think it's so wonderful that they did that for me. Isn't that nice, David and Denise? I just love it. So I'm not gonna try to tackle it right now because just like everything else, it's gonna have a learning curve to it. And I don't want to try to come on here and mess up my lives and stuff because I don't understand what computer I'm using. And that's what happened. Papa Jim let me use his computer while this little laptop was having a bad day one day. And I didn't know where all of the stuff was, and I really messed it up. But my boys got me a laptop, and I was all teary-eyed to think that, they all did that together. They came together in a chat and all decided, and they all pitched in, and they bought me this beautiful laptop. So I'm saying it here first, thank you to my boys and to my hubby, and then later on I'll be calling each of them and thanking them personally for thinking of their mama that way. And I think they're happy that I've decided to do this. It's given me a purpose. It's given me something good to do this YouTube. Had some hiccups along the way, like what we were discussing earlier, when I just had my little bit of not wearing my poker face yesterday that we were discussing. It was sweet of them, wasn't it, Kate? I just love it. I love it. And it really is a nice present. I'm so grateful and thankful. But like I was saying, when I have to think, hindsight is 2020. And I remember it was just a few days ago, I was talking to one son in California, and he said, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, oh, I don't need anything. I've got everything I want. I really kind of want to refurbish my chicken coop, which is in the plans anyways. So if I'm going to do it anyways, I might as well count it for my birthday to kind of upgrade the chicken palace. And so since it's already something I want, I might as well just count it for my birthday. And so he was already fishing or trying to get me to talk about something. And he says, weren't you supposed to get a gimbal for when you reached I got myself a gimbal when I reached 500 subscribers. And I said, yeah, but it didn't work with my phone. I didn't have the right kind of phone for it. And he says, well, weren't you going to get a GoPro? And it's like, yeah, I was going to get a GoPro, and I'm still looking at getting a GoPro. But I hadn't done that yet. So I'm still doing all of my filming on this semi-smartphone. All of my filming gets done on this little semi-smartphone. And when I say semi-smart, this is, it's a track phone from Walmart. It's not even, it's just a little track phone Android. So eventually I need to get a GoPro, or I need to get a better camera. But for now, I just kept saying, I've got everything I want. I've got everything I need. I don't need anything. But he was hinting. And, I've locked myself out of my computer. I can't remember the password to get back in. How annoying is that? That is pretty annoying. I have company coming. Oh, that's wonderful, Lisa. That's fun. That's fun. So and then I was talking to my other son, and we were talking about the laptop and rendering. He says, Mom, you really need to look at getting a new laptop. It's like, I know. Right now we've got taxes to pay. Registrations for the car are due. And we owed taxes this year, and the property taxes were due. It's like April hits us really hard. Taxes, property taxes, and vehicle registrations, all right there in that short little time frame. I said, I'll wait a couple months, and then I'll start putting away for a laptop. And I had been discussing it with Papa Jim like a week ago. I said, after we get done with all these taxes, we need to put just a little bit of money away every month for me to see about getting a new laptop, because I'm not sure how much longer this one has. This one, it gets hot, and I always have to go back and delete content to make room for new content. So all of my old videos are gone. Whatever's up on YouTube, it's there, but I do not have them saved anywhere. So if I got stuff wiped out, I'd be starting from scratch. So, my mom keeps trying to get me to write down all my passwords in a little notebook. Oh, You know what? I have that issue too, and I try to put codes with it. I try to put codes with my passwords so it will spark a memory of what my password is. So, but I just recently started writing down some of my passwords in code so I can remember, did I put an exclamation point on that one or didn't I? And I need to sync all of them. But just as soon as you get them synced, you get a security breach somewhere and you have to change a password. And I don't want to go back and change all of them. Uh, Micah was fussing this morning because her 18-year-old brother has the living room disorganized after she and I, along with two of my friends, worked hard to get it straight. Oh my gosh, there's another story. Oh, it's raining. Gosh darn it. What's funny is Lisa lives several hundred miles to the west of me. And so whenever she gets weather, she's like, it's coming your way. And it's raining. I told her, I said, she and I were just discussing it. She goes, looks like you're going to get rain. It's like, oh, I hate mud. I'd rather have the snow than the mud. And here it is, it's raining. And I haven't even fed the chickens yet. They were out with some scratch this morning, but I haven't given them their main meal yet. So I'm going to have to go out in the mud and I'm going to have to feed them later. So, but anyways, I'm very grateful to my boys, and I didn't pick up on the hints that they were all coming together for this laptop. So it truly was a wonderful surprise. And I'm really looking forward to learning about this new laptop and implementing it and hoping that my editing and rendering will go a little smoother. I've got another video to render right now, but I'm not rendering it until after our live today because I didn't want it to suck all the power and all of the innards out of my laptop here and have something crash. So I don't know. But so today, no, not today, tomorrow's my birthday. And I was sharing on a live last night that this year I'm turning 7. And that kind of raises some eyebrows, but and maybe some of you've heard it before, and I know some of you are like, oh, roll your eyes, she's going off on this tangent again. But I was diagnosed with a very serious cancer at the age of 48, and I didn't know if I would have a 49th birthday. And tomorrow I will be 55. So I celebrate things a little differently than I used to, because when you're dealt a diagnosis like that and you don't know if you're going to get a Christmas, you don't know if you're going to get a Thanksgiving, you don't know if you're going to get another anniversary or another birthday, they're a little bit sweeter when they do roll around. So this birthday, I'm 7. It's my 7th birthday since diagnosis of ovarian cancer, and I'm very, very grateful. I should do that, but the thing is, I probably forget where you would put the piece of paper. Only sorted it out 2 months ago. Finding time to sort it out is very frustrating. I hear you. I have my very dear friend that's down in Tennessee. She had this big set of encyclopedias on shelves in her room when we were kids, and she had peeled back the inside binding of one of her books, and she put a $20 bill in there and then glued it back down. Never found that $20 bill. She couldn't remember what book she hid it in. And who knows? I mean, her brother might have got in there after, and he might have opened it back up and taken the 20. We don't know. But she never did find that 20. And when we were kids, $20 was a big deal. $20 is a big deal to me right now. But she never found that $20 bill. So don't hide things unless you know where they're going to be. That's for sure. So I'm going to do some chores here on the farm later today, even though it's raining and it's cold. I'm going to render my other video. I've got everything ready for right-handers for tomorrow for our block. Let me grab our block and show you. Oh, wait. This is my pretend block. Here's the block we're doing tomorrow for crochet. Can you see the little chevrons? Which way do I see that? Aren't those pretty? We're going to be doing these little farmhouse chevron stitches. And I know chevron is so yesterday. But you know what? These chevrons were in this pattern that I'm utilizing. And just so everybody knows, I don't own these patterns that I'm sharing with you. These are patterns that I used 25 years ago. And they're not mine. So I didn't create these patterns. But that pattern was included in this Afghan 25 years ago, at least. And so it had chevrons long before we had our farmhouse chevron craze. But I think they turned out so cute. So we'll be doing those tomorrow. May 4th is your birthday. May the 4th be with you. You're turning 55 this year too, Tim. That's awesome. Sir, I salute you with my lightsaber. How's this for a fun picture? I should do this for my picture for Around the Hay Bale for next season. If Casey's listening, Lisa's in here. Lisa, what do you think? A tiara and a lightsaber for Around the Hay Bale? Whoosh. Look at that. It extended. You know what I'm going to do with this? I am going to be doing one of my stories with this lightsaber, but then I want to save it and I want to go around parking lots and go, skitty whoop whoop whoop. That's not where the carts go, you lazy bones. But you know, everybody here, they put their carts away. So I haven't been able to find a place where I can poke fun of people and say, you need to put your carts away, silly. This got weird. Sorry, Lisa. You have a whole set of Encyclopedia Britannica, brand new, never used, for sale. I got married and the wife knows everything. Oh my goodness, Major. That's why it's never been used. Oh, I wanted to, you know, I am going to use this lightsaber for a story coming up. And I do want it to release on the week of May the 4th. And I thought it would be fun if ahead of time, if I crocheted myself some little Princess Leia buns. I might do that. That would be funny. That would be funny. But, you know, let me check really quick. I don't know if I can check while we're on here. Let me, oh, nope, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I'm uploading something and I don't want to disrupt that, but I want to check something real quick. I'm going to check my community page. And I want to see for our next story, who's in the lead. So I'm going to go to my community page because we have a poll for you guys to vote on which story I tell next. And right now, porta potties in the lead. 50% of you voted for me to tell a story about the porta potty. Maybe one that you've heard before, but if you guys saw my last little Country Mama's Tangles and Yarns, I go to the thrift store now. This is how I'm getting the inspiration for my stories. I thought it was unique. Nobody else is doing it that I'm aware of. And I thought I'll just go to the thrift store. I was discussing it with my son one day. I said, you know, I need to have my own little spin on how I tell my stories. It's like, I got it. I'm going to go to the thrift store. And as I'm walking around the thrift store, if I see something that makes me think of a story, then I'll either buy it or record it. Like last week was about the pantyhose story. If you did not see the pantyhose story, go back and watch that. It's episode 1 of Mama's Tangles and Yarns. And I didn't buy the pantyhose because I don't want the pantyhose. I do not. That's its own video right there, me trying to wrangle into a pair of pantyhose. I'm past that stage in my life. I don't want to do it anymore. But I found this lightsaber, so I bought the lightsaber because there's going to be a lightsaber story. And there was a porta potty. There was this little camp potty with little foldable legs. And I thought, well, that will come in handy for my story. And it's going into my kind of my prepper supplies. If we are in a grid down situation and we don't have water, or heaven forbid, a tree fell on the house or tornado and we have to bug out to the summer kitchen or something, got a porta potty to take with us so we're not squatting in the bushes. So it looks like porta potties in the lead, but I will be doing my lightsaber story for May the 4th. And then when I do that, I'm going to make sure I remember to say happy birthday to Tiny Tim Posey for his birthday, and May the 4th be with you. So that's kind of fun. It's luggable. It's a luggable loo. It is. It's luggable. It has a handle and everything. You guys will see it when I do the story. It's got fold out legs. It's got a handle. It's got a lid. It's got the seat. It's got a place to put a bag. Best $2 I spent that day. Best $2. But it ties into a story. It ties into a story. And that story is probably 20, 25 years old at least. At least. And so when I saw that little porta potty, I thought, oh, that reminds me of this one story. So I bought it. I bought it and I lugged it home, Lisa. I lugged it home, and we're going to use it for our bug out situations. So, and you know, when we go down into the basement, It's probably where I'll store it. When we go down into the basement, when we have tornado warnings and stuff, and we're just kind of sitting there, if the weather's really bad and we got a tinkle, we're not coming back upstairs. We have to implement something down in the basement. And for the longest time, in the very, very far, creepy corner, Blair Witch style, in that basement is a toilet. It doesn't work. It's just bolted to the floor. I don't even think I've laid eyes on it in 2 or 3 years. It's way in a corner. It's behind the water heater and the water softener and the filtration systems. It's behind there. But I always figured if we were stuck down there for long periods of time, I could always just put a bag in there and we could use it if we were in unfortunate situations. Luggable loos are a toilet seat on a 5-gallon bucket pail. And see, that's what my story is, because Papa Jim built us one of those one time when we went camping. And but he went all out. I mean, he put some extra MacGyver stuff on there. And so I don't want to give too much of it away, but that's the porta potty story. If that comes through, if that stays at 50%, I'm going to be recording that tomorrow. So you guys have 24 hours to get your votes in. If you haven't voted yet, it's on my community page so you can vote what story you want to hear. And so far, the porta potty, the luggable loo, I'm going to actually title that. That's going to be the title of that, Lisa. I love luggable loo. I've never heard that before. I like the luggable loo. I think that's an adorable way to say that. My coffee's cold. It's so cold up here. Mr. Jim is absolutely brilliant. He can fix and make anything. He really is. I'm really fortunate in that. He really is quite handy. And he has that natural ability to do that. And then he also attributes a lot of it to working with my dad. When we were dating, my dad hired him. My dad was a handyman. And my dad was a jack of all trades. And he would usually come in behind contractors that would do shoddy work, and he would fix it. And then he started getting a reputation to where people in the area would then just hire him and not even mess with the contractors anymore. And he hired Jim on, and Jim would go with him out onto the work sites and stuff, and he would work with my dad. And so every once in a while, Jim will say, I learned this from your dad, and I learned that from your dad. But what Jim took away most from the times with my dad is he would be up on a roof of whatever they were working on. Spent a lot of time on roofs. They'd be up on a roof and they'd be hammering, and my dad wouldn't even look at him. Wouldn't even look at Jim. He'd just be hammering with this big, huge claw hammer, his big carpenter hammer. Don't want my daughter getting pregnant. Don't want my daughter getting pregnant. Oh no, Mr. Thompson. Oh no, we don't. All we do is hold hands while we do the dishes. Liar. But be right back. Have to take care of the chicks. Okay, Lisa, little chickie doos. But he really is quite handy with things. And we got married young. He did not finish high school because we started a family young. Intentionally. I did not have a oops baby. It was intentional. There's a whole nother story. If I'm ever in the thrift store and I see an EPT pregnancy test, I don't know if I'll just video it or should I buy it. If I buy it and then throw it in the trash, boy, wouldn't that throw Jim for a loop, especially since I have no more working parts. All my parts have been taken out. But that would be funny to throw him for a loop for a second. But oh gosh, where was I going with that? Oh, he didn't finish high school because we started our family young. He did go back and he did get his equivalency. And he's never been to college, but he's gone to all of these technical schools. He's extremely smart with the technical stuff. And he received his ASE world-class technician status a couple years ago. And so he's an automotive technician, and they have the Automotive Service Excellency Program. I think that's what ASE stands for. And they have different classes that you have to take. And there's, an ASE technician, an ASE master technician, and all this. Well, the very top one is a world-class tech. And so he completed everything. It took several years. He completed everything and he got that status, and he's got a trophy and a plaque and all this. It speaks not only really well for him, but it really is good for the dealership that you work for, because they want that. They want a technician that has that status. Well, when he obtained that status, there were only, I think he was the third. He was the third in this state. There were only 3 in this state, and he was one of them. And I've seen him work on stuff for cars that just are mind-blowing to me. And he was talking one day about something. And here's a man, like I said, who didn't finish formal high school. But he's talking yaw rate. Yaw rate's like really technical aerodynamic stuff, yaw rate. He knows yaw rate and all this other stuff. Oh, my goodness, I can't say enough about him. You have that in your shed. Oh, Laura, I'm lost now. You have what in your shed? Because I think I've spoken so much, I can't remember what we got going on. I know you don't have yaw rate in your shed. Did I miss something up here? What do you have in your shed? Oh, do you have a luggable loo in your shed? Do you have your 5-gallon porta potty in your shed? Papa Jim was really good about putting things together like that. And of course, you know, when we go out camping, when the boys were little and we would go out camping, I mean, they're just going to go find a bush, right? He only made it for my comfort. So I would have something when we were camping. Oh, that story. Wait till you guys hear that story about that luggable loo. I will record it tomorrow. I'll show you my little luggable loo that I got at the thrift store. And I like it because it's brand new. The one I got at the thrift store is brand new. I mean, it still has the paperwork attached to it in the bags, sealed. Somebody got this luggable loo and it's never been used. Brand new Tweety. So I'm happy to be adding that to our little, our prepper stuff that we've got here. Prepper, preparedness, tornadoes, who knows what. If we ever have to bug out somewhere, I've got something that may or may not need a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, Laura, good night. Good night. I still don't even know what day I'm on. You have a good day. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it. So what else is going on? You know, I was really hoping to get something done this week outside and start working on that chicken palace for my birthday, because I did say that for my birthday, I really want to work on my chicken coop. I want to work on it more for the fact that we just need better security, because you guys were here that one day when I had the skunk show up and all of those issues. Hello, Blue Farm. Welcome in. Oh, we're just talking about all kinds of fun stuff. Right now, talking about my chicken palace. I want to update my chicken coop and make things a little safer for the girls. When we first got our guineas, we've got 6 guineas right now. When we first got them and relocated them here to the farm from a neighbor, we had clipped, one wing so that they wouldn't fly over this really great little enclosure that we had built for them. Well, their wings have grown back and they just keep going over that 6-foot fence. And so yesterday, even though it was cold, I had to run outside and usher them back into their little enclosure. And it's a very large enclosure, so it's not like I've got anything on top of it. It's several hundred square feet. And we opened the gate and let them go out to the orchard. Well, I've kept it closed lately ever since we lost a chicken a couple weeks ago, and I believe it was to that skunk. And yeah, updating is a constant thing, right? Yeah, I'm always trying to think of better ways to serve my girls. And I really felt that I let them down a couple weeks ago because we lost that one. Well, the guineas keep flying over, and guineas, as much as I love them, they're not the smartest things in the world, because once they get on the other side of the fence, even if the gate's open, if the gate's on this row of chain link fencing and they flew over and they're on this side, they run back and forth. They don't turn the corner and run in the gate. They run back and forth in a complete panic. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Squawk into each other. Oh my gosh, I can't get back in. I can't get back in. They flew out. They don't fly back in, but they run themselves silly. And the ones on the other side of the fence, they're running too. They're all just running back and forth, squawking at each other in a complete panic because they're not together. And they just won't turn the corner and come into the gate. And I told Papa Jim, I said, if we redo this, we got to put the gate over there. I know it's supposed to be put the gate over there. They're going to run on this side and they're not going to know how to get back in. But anyways, they're flying over and then they just run themselves, where I'm afraid they're going to have a heart attack because they're so stressed. So yesterday I had to go out twice, take a little bit of scratch with me and throw it to keep everybody occupied so I could open that gate, and then they'd run back in. But they don't run back in right away. I have to go out and walk all the way around them so I don't startle them, and kind of usher them up to where they turn the corner. And once they turn the corner, they run and they go in the gate. I don't know what their deal are. Guineas aren't the smartest things in the world. You are the queen of understatements. Yeah, and the thing is they're so ugly, they're adorable. I just love them. I just love them. And I know when I was first thinking about getting them, some people were saying, you're going to be sorry you got those guineas. They are loud, obnoxious. They never shut up. It's irritating. I love listening to them. I love it when they're going off about something. It alerts me that there's something going on. And sometimes they're just in a panic because one's on the other side of the fence. But the other day when we were live, 2 weeks ago, they let me know that there was something wrong out in the chicken yard. And sure enough, when I excused myself from our coffee chat and I went and looked out the window, there was that skunk right there. Those 6 guineas had that skunk surrounded. They had him cornered. They meant business. They were realizing that there was something wrong in their area. Good morning, Gwen. No apologies ever needed. Tim says, my dad had to quit school 2 weeks into the 7th grade. He always felt inferior, but he retired running machines in a manufacturing company requiring math. During his life, he gained way more than that high school. Yes, right? Because I think there's so much more. There's not enough emphasis on technical schools, and there needs to be. There's not enough emphasis on street smarts and knowing how to work in the world that you're in. And there's so much emphasis on getting a piece of paper or some letters behind your name that maybe you're not going to work with. Why sandpaper? Scratch is what we call sandpaper. No sandpaper. Some grains that I would throw out to them. My dad couldn't read and write very well, but he could look at a standing tree and tell you how many board feet would come out of it. Isn't that amazing, Kate? Isn't that amazing? I've got 2 boys right now. I've got 2 boys in school right now that are finishing up where they weren't able, because of whatever their circumstances were in their young lives, they weren't able to complete what they needed to do. And they're going back, and I'm so proud of them. They're finishing. Papa Jim went back. He finished. I've got another son who went back and finished and went on and got his college degree, and now he's a teacher. And I've got another son who went back and he got 2 degrees, and he works wonders with IT. So my boys are very technical. They didn't get the white collar jobs. They are more of the blue collar, but they've got the thinking skills and the what are the skills I want to say? I mean, they've got their street smarts, but they really do have the life skills that they need to get them where they need to be. And I'd rather have them have a technical job and be happy and love what they're doing than have them feel that they needed to go get those big degrees and really get buried underneath the status of the big house, the cars. And, I never strove for my kids to, and I don't want this to offend anybody, but I never strove for my kids to be like, oh, you need to go to college and you need to be a doctor, or you need to be a lawyer. I never did put that on my kids because I wanted them to do what made them happy. And one son followed in his dad's footsteps. He was an automotive technician for years and years and years. And then he made the leap to being a teacher at a high school for the program, so he can teach the kids the hands-on, so they can take care of their own cars, and they can then go out and they can have a technical skill underneath their belt, because they're not going to go on. These are kids that are probably not going to go on to go to college to become doctors and lawyers, but they're going to have those technical skills so they can go on and be automotive technicians, because they're in demand right now. We need to have our automotive technicians. Let's see. We really need blue collar skilled workers. They're essential. Absolutely, they're essential. That kind of I shouldn't say upsets me. But, when we were going through this whole thing these last 2 years, and they were talking about essential workers, they never mentioned the technicians that keep our automobiles on the road, our trucks for delivering, for the mailmen, for everything else that was running. You got your techs that have to keep those cars on the road, those trucks on the road, and they never included them in essential. And even when they mention about possibly giving some kind of a bonus or something to essential workers, they never included the automotive technicians. My husband is an essential worker. He kept those farmers out in the field so that they could keep the food going, and the truckers on the road and the people doing the things that they needed to do, but they never received acknowledgement for it. And, my husband did not miss one day through that entire time. He went every day, even if it was at a risk to himself. He went every day because he knew it was important that he kept those cars on the road. Gwen says, I had 5 guineas, raised them from babies. They were so not smart. They would not come back to the coop at night. They would go out in the woods and literally lay down on their sides and go to sleep. Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys. Even though we've clipped their wings, we've got the run for them. We did lose one. She just never thrived. No matter what we did for her, she just never thrived. And so we lost her. And then I think we've lost 2 more to predators, because I think they've gone over the fence and then they just don't come back. They go out and lay down somewhere. And it's like, hello, Mr. Raccoon, walk up on me in the middle of the night and devour me. So the others are really good about coming in though. But once they get over that fence, we have a hard time getting them back in. And sometimes Papa Jim will come in at 9 o'clock at night and he'll say, everybody's put up, but I've got 2 guineas running the fence. So we go out there and we usher them back in, or sometimes they'll be up on top of the coop and we've got to try to usher them in because we don't want the raccoons to get them. At 50, my mom went back to school and got her master's to become a nurse practitioner. When she was in her 60s, she got her doctorate. Kate, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And my grandmother has a similar story. She didn't get a doctorate. She just got her RN. But oh my goodness, I think she was probably in her 60s when she went to nursing school. I worked almost 32 years selling general aviation and salvage parts. I really loved it. That's great, Tim. And it's great that you loved it. I mean, isn't that what the ultimate goal is to do something that you love? And I know Papa Jim truly loves what he does. Every once in a while, the whole business end of it gets entangled in it. He's like, sometimes he's not loving what he does because of the red tape, but he loves being an automotive tech. It's in his blood. It's in his nature. He's a natural at it and he loves it. So I've never had anything that I would say that I was just a natural at as far as work, other than when I worked at the school and I worked with special needs kids. I really did love that job. I didn't love the red tape. I didn't love the bureaucracy, but I loved working with the kids. We had 3 guineas, lost one last winter, and we have 2 now. We love them, and they follow you around while you do your chores. That's wonderful, Blue Farm. Aren't they sweet, though? I just checked on them before I came up to do my live, and I popped open that window where they had that skunk surrounded the other day, and all 6 of them are just there. They're just looking at me and chit, 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 and buckwheat, 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 and they talk to me, and they're just so cute. And but I really do need to work on my chicken palace so they're a little more secure. We're going to rein things in a little bit. And we are going to make sure we've got some form of top cover. As some of you may know, we've had eagles on the property lately that have just been perching right outside this window. They sit up in this tree, but I've never seen them near the chicken coop. They're not in the line of sight for the chicken coop. I've never seen them around there. Around the chicken run or anything, or even in the orchard. We've seen them in trees way, way back on the very far side of the property. But we have had hawks in there before. So we know that we've had hawks, skunks, raccoons, an ermine, and possums on the farm. Did I say fox? We've had a fox. So, I mean, we're in the middle of their territory. We've encroached on their territory. So they're only doing what comes natural to them. But I need to be a better chicken mama and a better guinea mama and really kind of rein that in a little bit. We did this entire thing last year where we redid their entire run, and it had a gate, and we'd let them out to the orchard when I was supervising them. And they live in the coop with our potbelly pig, Mr. Pigglesworth. He's Sir Oreo Pigglesworth the Third is his full given name. And when we first put that whole run up, he would just go sit at the edge of the fence and just look at his apple tree. And gosh, it just broke my heart. Just broke my heart. And so I started opening the gate, and then I just left the gate open and I just let them do what they want to do. But we've had a couple losses, so it's time to rein them in again. We rounded them up every night and put them back in the coop, but had to go find them. Then one by one, something got them during the day. Yeah, I understand that one, Gwen. I do. My husband is a mechanic and machinist. He can fix anything. Yeah, it's so great when they have those technical skills, isn't it? Because I know anything happens here at the farm. I know between Papa Jim or one of our two sons that live here local, whatever the issue is, I know that it's going to be fixed, whether it's the furnace, whether it has something to do with the septic system, electrical, plumbing inside the house, structural. I know that they have the wherewithal and the knowledge and the skill and the tools to do what they need to do so that we're going to be okay. So I really like having that, because I know people who are like, my husband can't change a light bulb. So I'm grateful that I have a family that have those technical skills. So what I bring to it, humor, I guess that's all I've got. Welcome back, Lisa. Welcome back. We've been talking guineas and all kinds of fun stuff. So did you guys see what I made for Easter? Casey over at Ormsby Farm challenged me to do a little Easter bunny. Look at that. Did he turn out cute or what? This is a sock. Oh, look, it matches my crown. I have purple. Oh, maybe this could be my next little picture. What do you think, Lisa, for around the hay bale? I'll pose with a bunny rabbit instead of a chicken, and I'll wear a tiara. That'll get people talking. But gosh, I had fun with him. And these are just little twisty ties for his little whiskers. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I put it off and put it off. I just didn't have time to do it. And I was doing stuff around the farm here, and I promised Casey I would do it. So I ran in there and had to do that. I was so glad I did, because I really enjoyed it. We have never hired anyone to work on anything, literally. He fixes it all. You know, the boys fix everything. Jim fixes everything. The only time, Gwen, that we really hired anybody to help with it, oh my gosh, it's really raining. I'm really sorry I didn't feed the chickens earlier, because it's blowing rain. I feel like Forrest Gump right now, because we got sideways rain. When I was going through treatment, and Papa Jim was really focusing on work and taking care of me, we did hire on a man to come in and help us with the drywall in this room, and to help us finish our some of our other drywall. Papa Jim's great at drywall, but he was tired. He was tired because he had so much worry about doing his job, keeping our medical insurance, taking care of me at the end of the day, you know, while I was going through treatment. And we still didn't even know what the prognosis was going to be, whether the treatment was working. He had a lot on his shoulders. And my sister said, hey, I've got a friend who does drywall. Maybe he could just come help with the drywall. And I was so grateful, because he did come, and he gave us really great prices, and he did really good work. And we were so grateful he was able to help. And he helped us with quite a few projects, and we paid him extra even, you know, and even on top of extra, Papa Jim would give him things and give him an extra $50 for gas here and there, because we really did appreciate his work. And then he had to have knee surgery. He blew out his knee, and then he never came back after that. So hello, Marlene, just stopping in to say hi. I'm headed out of town to have sushi with my daughter and get a haircut. Oh, how fun. I don't eat sushi, but that sounds like fun, having a daughter date. That would be really great. And to get a haircut. Enjoy. I can't wait to see your new style, although it's lovely as is. But it's always fun to go out and get your hair did, isn't it? I've not had my hair did in over 2 years. It's getting a little bit unruly. Look how long it's getting. Look at those ends. I need to do something with those ends. But you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting to where I can split it down the back and pull it to the front so that it's long enough, so I can just kind of grab it here and then cut it, and it'll give me a horseshoe cut. It'll be a horseshoe cut. But I don't know. I like that but look at, I've already lost the curl. Do you know why? Because it's so humid out right now, because it's raining. But I do like my little curls. I like my little 50s curls. And sometimes I come onto camera with some of my co-hosts for Around the Hay Bale. I'm still wearing my curlers. But I don't know if I'll get it cut again. I might get it trimmed, but I don't know if I'm going to get it cut. But I love going and getting a haircut. I need to do that again. Did you guys notice I colored my hair again? But it's the wrong color. It's not my pink color this time. It's cherry cola red. I miss my pink. Hello, Super Soak. Welcome. Gwen says, I hate drywall. I learned that when we built our house. I did all of the taping and floating on the walls. Hubby did the ceiling because I get drunk when I'm on a ladder looking up. Yeah, Papa Jim did. I did. He did the taping and the floating, and I would sand in between layers. I did all of the drywall mud for all of like the screw holes and stuff for the drywall screws. And then when it came time to do the ceiling, he actually went out and he bought the lift, the hand crank lift, and he would just load up that piece of drywall, make it flat, and just crank it right up, and then he'd screw everything. And it worked out really, really well. Grabbing a chai tea before I leave town. Yum, chai tea. So delicious. Now that I have short hair, I have to keep up on it for uniform regulations. My hair can't touch the bottom of my collar in a uniform. Oh, goodness. Stringent, stringent. That's interesting. I've learned not to go anywhere to get my hair cut because every time I have, it's butchered, crooked, shorter than I tell them. So I just do it myself. Oh my gosh. This one time, Gwen, this one time, it was in the 90s, and I had gone to my regular hairstylist was booked solid for weeks, and I'm very, very impulsive, very impulsive. And this is something where later, if I'm going through the thrift store and I find like a hair buzzer or something, I might take a picture of it and tell the story again in one of my tangles and yarns. But I wanted to get my hair cut. I wanted this new style. So hot, had to have it. But my girl was booked solid, and I'm too impatient to wait for booked solid. So I jumped in the car, and I did this to her more than once. I mean, I could still see her rolling her eyes and putting her hands on her hips and going, "Oh my God, what have you done?" So I jumped in the car and I went to California Cuts, which is basically a Super Cuts or Sam's or Fantastic Sam's or whatever they were back in the day. And I went in and I got in the chair, and here's this young man. He's going to cut my hair. And he says, he's playing with my hair. "What are we going to do today?" I said, "I want the Rachel cut." I said, "Rachel from Friends, I want the Rachel cut." And he said, "Who?" And I knew right then, I should have gotten up out of the chair. I should have gotten up and I should have walked away, but I didn't want to be rude. But as soon as he said, "Who?" I should have known I was in trouble. I should have known. So I explained to him, and we found a couple of, current magazines. I'm like, "Her right there, Jennifer Aniston. See that cut? I want that cut." "Oh, girl, okay." So he's cutting my hair and he gets it all curled. It's okay. It's not what I wanted. But I paid him, I tipped him, I went home. And your hair always looks great when you leave the salon because they've got their tricks, right? Well, as soon as you wash it and then you want to style it for yourself, it's like nothing's working. Nothing's working. I could not take a section of hair, even this thick, and actually get it into a curling iron because it was all different lengths. Nothing. It was just chopped. It was chopped so terribly bad. So bad. I couldn't curl my own hair. Ooh, that looks awful. Here, crown to the rescue. Tiara. Wah! Fix that, won't you? Fix it. There, it's crooked. It's okay. I swear by male hairstylists. I love them. I love them too, but this kid was just like fresh out of school. Didn't know who Rachel was. I should have known better. So I couldn't curl my hair. I couldn't do anything with it. It was a mess. I didn't even call my hairstylist. I just walked in with this look on my face, and she's like, the hands go on the hip. She's like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" I got impatient. She goes, "Get in the chair." So she pushed back an appointment for me. And she got out her razor. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. She got out her razor and textured all the way. I had a pixie. I had a short little pixie. I could barely get just like a little 1/4 inch, just to put a couple little bumps in the front. I had a pixie. She goes, "Don't do that again." I won't do that again. And then like a year later, it's like, "Can I come in and get a color?" She goes, "I'm booked." She goes, "Don't do anything stupid." "Oh, I won't." But I was impatient. I wanted beautiful auburn hair. I wanted auburn hair. I wanted red hair. My natural color is ash blonde, dirty blonde. So I ran to Wally World and I got a box of beautiful auburn hair. Oh Lord, you can't just put a color in a box of this beautiful auburn hair on top of ash blonde. Y'all remember Annie, right? Little orphan Annie, that bright red hair, or Pippi Longstockings and that bright red hair. That's what I had. I had bright orange red hair. It was horrible. I mean, even I knew, oh, I really messed up this time. I really messed up. I called her and then I went down there. She's like, what did you do? She goes, I can't squeeze you in. I said, what do I do? She goes, go back to the store, get a semi-permanent medium brown, put some brown in it. And I did, and it saved it. But I remember the looks. I wasn't even smart enough to put a hat on when I went back to Wally World to go get the semi-permanent brown. I walked in there with that flaming orange hair, like Carrot Top. And people are like, oh, people of Walmart is calling. It was bad. The last time I went in with hair at my belt loops, showed them the picture of the cut I wanted that was mid-back. I walked out crying because it was above my shoulders. Oh no, Gwen. That, like Lisa said, that's awful. Usually it's because these women stylists be running their mouths too much, right? I remember I did go to a male stylist one time. It was the son of my regular stylist. She wasn't available. She goes, oh, Paul's going to work on you. And the whole time he's working on me, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Because he's back there going, shoop, shoop, ba doop, shoop, ba. He's singing the shoop song. The whole time he's just like, and I was like, ah, but it turned out okay. But oh my word. I fixed my little orphan Annie hair with a little bit of semi-permanent brown. And she said, don't do that again. I said, oh, I won't. But I did it again. Have you ever cut your own bangs? And your hair's wet and you're like, okay, right here's where I want them. And you cut it and then it dries and they're up here. I've done that. I've been guilty of doing that. Oh, it's just hair though, right? And I think having a good sense of humor about times like that. Oh, I've got another one. I think having a good sense of humor about times like that is what really helped me when I did go through chemotherapy and I lost all of my hair, because I realized it's just hair. I didn't put too much emphasis on my hair. Oh gosh, I got two more stories. So I went in. Do you guys remember when the A-line stacked in the back was really popular? Maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago, around maybe 2005, 2006. Cute hairstyles. Actually, now that I say it, I should have known better at the time, but I think that it really became popular when they had that girl Kate plus 8, or Kate makes 8, or John and Kate make 8, or whatever. People had all the kids. They had their own reality show. She had this really cute little stacked A-line. It's like, I want that stacked A-line. So I went in, I explained to everybody what I wanted, just like before. And this girl was working on it. She goes, I don't know if I've got it. And the manager of the store came over. She goes, I know what she wants. And she like grabbed my head and put it down and got out the shavers up the back. And she's doing all kinds of stuff. And Jim is sitting off to the side and he's like this. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. That's the way this cut is. It's going to be okay. Shaved up the back, up past my occipitals, these little muscles back here. And then just like a Mo from the Three Stooges look back here in the back. Dog ears, like sloped dog ears in the front and stacked way high in the back. It looked awful. It was awful. But I tried rocking it. I tried, ratting it and fixing it up. And I went to work after I got it done. I said, what do you think of my new haircut? And we had a charter school. We were renting space from a local church. And so those were our classrooms. The little rooms in the church were our classrooms during the week. But the pastor would be in there. Gosh, I just can't get my crown on straight today. Her hair looks like it was combed with an egg beater. A lady biker I know went to a salon to get a 2-inch trim. She told them 2 inches. They cut 14 inches. She went nuts. Yeah. See, that's bad. So I went to school after I got it cut, and and I was wearing like professional tops with beautiful scarves, and I had my reading glasses that made me look smart, or at least I thought they did. They were artificial intelligence. And I was walking, and the pastor comes walking by the hallway and goes, oh, you cut your hair? And I'm like, yes. What do you think of it? He goes, you did that on purpose? I was like, oh crap. Yeah, I did that on purpose. It's all the style. He was like, okay. And so I've got pictures now. I don't know where they are, but I've got pictures where we had gone camping and Papa Jim was standing behind me, and it shows what my head looked like from the back. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that bad of a train wreck. Jim was really mad at that person that cut my hair that time. And another time, oh, it's all about hair today, isn't it? Another time, my neighbor across the street, she wanted to give herself her own highlights. So she put, those caps, you would put the caps on and use like a little crochet hook, and you would just pull strands through the holes in the caps. She didn't want to spend the money to go get her hair professionally done. She was going to do it herself. So of course we would incorporate each other's help. It was like, the men are at work and the women are chit-chatting and having tea and laying out to get suntans and laying out by the pool and doing each other's hair and each other's toenails. We did all that all the time. And she's like, can you come over and help me pull the strands through? And I'm like, absolutely. So I go over and she's sitting in her bathroom and I'm standing above her and I'm just pulling out little bits through the holes in the top of her cap, right? And she looks at it in the mirror and she goes, no, I want bigger chunks than that. So she gets the hook and she starts pulling out big chunks of hair through those holes, right? We get her all bleached up and there's a lot of bleach left over in the bowl. This pasty, chalky bleach that you mix up. There's a lot of it left over. So while she's sitting there marinating in her bleach, I grab the little brush and I go where my part is. And I'm like, brush, 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 brush. I'm going to do my roots, right? Because I know what I'm doing. And then I section a piece over and I flop it over and I'm brush, brush. Section, flop over, brush, brush. I did all of this sectioning and putting the bleach on, sat there. We had some more lemonade or tea or something. We're chit-chatting and having a good time. It's like, okay, we're done cooking. Time to rinse out. She rinses her hair out and she started with like a dark brown hair. Then she had bleach, 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 big stripes going through her hair. She looked like a zebra. She was mortified. She was crying. She was crying with these big zebra stripes going through her hair. I rinse my hair off. I am laughing in hysterics because you want to talk about a Lucy and Ethel moment. Oh my God. I had checkerboard stripes. I just had like checkerboard blotches of bleach all over my head. So she had stripes. I had checkerboard. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. She would not even let her husband see her. Her husband came home from work and she banished him. She said, you cannot even see my head until I get this fixed. And I'm running around in the neighborhood going, look what I did. Look what I did. I don't even remember how I got that one fixed. I'm sure my hairdresser at the time was livid with me. I don't think that's the time I turned it orange. But I never tried doing that again. I'll tell you that much. But like I said, I think it just kind of set me up for later on when all my hair fell out. It's like, my oncologist does my hair now. And it was fine. I was sharing with Casey, though, last night when we were talking. And I said I went through a stage after chemo when my hair grew back and I looked like a titmouse. And if you know what a titmouse is, it's a little bird and it's got like this little spiked little gray little mohawk looking kind of thing. And that's how my hair grew back. I didn't get the beautiful curly post chemo wavy hair. I didn't get that. I did get gray hair, salt and pepper gray hair. So I went from being an ash blonde to this salt and pepper gray. And it's been that way ever since. That's why I go with a little bit of artificial intelligence here every once in a while. But it just kind of grew up in this funny peak on the top of my head. I look like a titmouse. Oh, goodness. And then after it grew out a little bit more and it was kind of like laying down, then I looked like a sloth. I really looked like a sloth. Have you seen the picture of that sloth where it's just like this and it's got this little like bowl cut? That's what I looked like. It's just hair. It's just hair. It grew back. It's fine. You know what was worse than losing the hair on my head? You lose the hair. You lose hair everywhere. You have not one strand of hair on you when you go through chemotherapy, and it's the type of chemotherapy cocktail that will make your hair fall out. You lose everything. I lost the hair in my nose. All of my hair in my nose was gone. And there, you don't have a lot. There's just a little bit of hair in there, right? It's really not that big of a deal. Oh, my Lord, it is. It is a big deal. because you don't realize how much that keeps your sniffles up in there. Because if you got a sniffle, it tickles your little hairs. You go like that, you've got a sniffle, right? You need to blow your nose or get a tissue or something, and you sniffle. No, not when you're going through chemotherapy and all your nose hairs are gone, and you get a little bit of a runny nose, and you'll just be talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, bloop, on the floor. It just, your real little runny, just bloop right on the floor. You're dripping like a sieve, and you don't even know where it comes from because your little hairs aren't keeping it all up in there where it needs to be. And you don't realize how much of a drippy nose you get when you're on chemotherapy. If you ever run across somebody who has chemotherapy, be gracious. Be gracious. Don't freak out when they're just talking 1 minute and then all of a sudden, bloop, all over the floor, their nose explodes. My sister, post-breast cancer, has super tight curls. She had straight hair below her waist before. Yeah. See, Tim, I've always had, look at me with my crochet hook. I've always had really straight hair. I have a lot of it, but I have no body in my hair at all. I mean, even as we're talking and the humidity is getting worse, I mean, look at my hair. The curls just going out of it. It was so cute when we first started. And I've always had this super straight, stringy hair. Never had any body to it. And so I thought, ooh, when it comes back post chemo, I'm going to have curly hair for the first time in my life. Didn't happen. I was really looking forward to some chemo hair. Didn't get it. Tim, how does your sister feel about having the curls after chemo? I'd like to know what she thinks of that. Some people love it. Some people see it as something they just would rather not deal with. I really wanted it, didn't get it. My mother-in-law post chemo has pretty much the same hair she had before, except now she doesn't color it. I was going to go with the salt and pepper. I was just going to go with it. And I went with it for a long time. I did just keep the salt and pepper for a long time. And Jim has never really, gosh darn my crown. Jim's just rolled with the whole thing always. Whatever I do with my hair, he just rolls with it, except for the time he was like, oh my God, what have you done? I need a mirror. Oh, Maggie, there we go. I don't know. I was probably 6-8 months out of chemo. And like I said, I looked like a sloth. I really did. Salt and pepper, 48 years of age. And one day we were just sitting there and Jim goes, you're too young to look that old. You need to do something with your hair because it just, I was tired. I had lost a lot of weight. My color wasn't good because chemo really does put you through a lot. And then I had this salt and pepper hair. And I was tired. I mean, I really was tired. So I looked the part. Now she has curls. That's wonderful. He says, you need to do something with your hair because you're just looking really tired. And I think he was really concerned for me. And so we made an appointment and I went up to the school. I went to the beauty school and I let the girls work on my hair up there. And I think that first time we really splurged and I got an oil slick. And if you've not seen an oil slick, let me see if I can find it real quick because it really was a cool hairstyle. Let me see if I can find it. Do you guys know what an oil slick? Comment if you know what an oil slick is while I look this up and see if I can find it. I might even be able to find my picture here. I'm not sure. Posts. I want to find a good one. I want to find mine because mine I thought turned out pretty good. Bear with me. I don't know if I've got it in my cancer. I've got a photo album of cancer stuff. I might even have my sloth picture in this album. Wouldn't it be funny if I had my sloth picture in here? Got lots of bald pictures in here. I think I rocked the bald look pretty good. Did pretty good being bald. Oh, look, I found the titmouse. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hold this up, guys. This is my titmouse look. Look how fat my face was because of all of the steroids. Look how tired I am. And look at that funky little mohawk on the top there of gray hair coming in. That's my titmouse look. That's pretty tired there. That's pretty worn out. Still smiling though. I think right about here in this picture is where Papa Jim said, you know, you're just too young to be looking that old. So that's 48. And all of that salt and pepper hair that came in, as opposed to being blonde as I was before. And then I'm looking to see if I've got, oh, I found it. I found it. Okay, so look. First of all, this is my sloth look for those of you who have stuck around. There's when I looked like a sloth, right? I mean, that looks like a sloth. There's my salt and pepper sloth look. And I still had a really, really round, well, I still have a round face, let's face it. But I was on a lot of steroids at that time. But look, this is what I went in and did after Papa Jim said you need to do something. There's my, I don't want a reflection on it. There's my my oil slick look. I loved that hair. It had peacock blue and purple and teal. You see the colors there? It brought out the green in my eyes. I loved that haircut. But you know, it didn't last very long. I felt I looked like a sloth. I did. But you know, it didn't last very long. It was a very expensive hairstyle to do. You guys want to see the reality? Here's reality. You know, in movies, when somebody gets a cancer diagnosis and they start chemotherapy and like in the shower and their hair falls out, and then all of a sudden they're just bald. No. Here's the reality. Look at that. This is how you walk around for a couple weeks while your hair decides to let go. You got mange. I was mangy for a while. That's where everything comes together nicely for you to have a really nice wig to work with. I made this out of a t-shirt. Look at that. I was crafty even way back then. I made some really cute little turbans out of t-shirts. See, I need to make videos about that. I need to make some videos on how you do those because they are helpful. And I'm going to do that for my my cancer page. I did start a cancer page to help those who are newly diagnosed. And I need to do one on how to make those cute little turbans out of t-shirts. They work really good. They're nice and soft and comfy. But this here's when I rocked my bald head. There we go. I like that much better than a sloth. And I still had eyebrows. Look at that. I still had eyebrows. You know, it's funny. Let me see what we got here. You don't think so either, Gwen? So thank you, Lisa and Gwen, for saying I didn't look like a sloth, but I felt like a sloth. Ryan called, have to go. We'll leave it running. I have to pick him up. Bye, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate having you here. I really like the blue streaks. I just accidentally squished a giant bug. So this slideshow is helping me take my mind off of that. You're good looking, hon. Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, those squishy buggies. I don't like that. Have a great day. You too, Lisa. Yes, drive safe. Everybody's giving you their good wishes as you go, and as you're saying goodbye to everybody else too. Have a wonderful day, Lisa. And yes, drive safe. So, what's funny is when I was going through chemo, like I said, I lost everything. I lost my eyelashes, but I kept my eyebrows. It was the strangest thing. But once I was done with treatment, I think I was a couple months out of treatment and I started getting little spikies back on my head. The hair started growing back on the top of my head. They got about this long. And then all of a sudden I woke up one day and my eyebrows went like a dandelion. You know, when the dandelions dry out and you blow on them and they just, all the little things scatter to the wind. That's what my eyebrows did. One day they all just went and I had no eyebrows. So I had the hair growing back and then no eyebrows. And it was, I was like expressionless for a while there. And then when they grew back like Abe Vigoda eyebrows. They looked like caterpillars. And they didn't grow this way. They didn't grow the way that your hair naturally grows. They all grew this way. They all grew up. And so I'm constantly, and I haven't done them in a while, but I'm constantly like trying to shape and keep them trimmed because now I've got my nose itches. I've got Abe Vigoda eyebrows, like big fuzzy caterpillars. It's like, where's the justice in this? I didn't get my curls, but I got Abe Vigoda's eyebrows all of a sudden, and they're not gray. They did kind of come back in an ash blonde, and I did get my eyelashes back, but they were never the eyelashes I had before. I had pretty long eyelashes before. Now they're just they're there. They're just kind of there. So anyways, boy, listen to me ramble and ramble and ramble. I have appreciated you guys stopping in and spending time with me. I really have. But I think I should probably save some of my stories for later. I've got some chores to do. I have to think of what to make for dinner on this cold and dreary day. I think I'm going to make some chaffles, which is my replacement for bread now. I think I'm going to make some chaffles and have some nice chaffles ready so that when Papa Jim gets home, I'm going to get out the cast iron skillet and put some of my fakey hot dogs on there and grill up some hot dogs and pop them on a chaffle and do some vegetarian chili on top with some onions and cheese. And I think we'll have some nice chili dogs for dinner tonight because it's chilly outside. We need something warm and some comfort food. So I think that's what I'll plan for today is uploading some videos, doing some editing, getting ready for Mama's Tangles and Yarns tomorrow. So make sure you go to the community page and vote. Is it going to be the Luggable Lou or is it going to be one of the other choices that are on there? What are our other choices? What do I have over here? We have 8-Track Travels and Wedding Dress. 8-Track Travels has only gotten 20% votes. Wedding Dress has 30% votes. And the Porta Potty, aka Luggable Lou, has 50%. Have a great day, Alicia says. Gwen, thank you. You too. Gwen, we're having the next video released tomorrow for our crochet along. The tutorial went up Monday, so I hope that you are enjoying your crochet time. If you haven't been able to work on it the last week or so, that's perfectly fine. And if you've already shared it with me, I apologize for forgetting, but I'm getting older and my brain doesn't work. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I enjoyed having coffee chat with you today. We will see you next week. Did you guys notice my new little thumbnail that I made for our coffee chats? I love that. But, and also don't forget to show up on Saturday. We're going to be, Papa Jim's going to be stuffing my muffin, which is a cupcake piñata for our travels coming up. So we're going to do that. Watch the tutorial. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Tiny Tim, see you later. I love that. Blessings. And Gwen, we will see you later. Heather Lynn, we will see you later. Hey, if you Gate Farms, welcome. You know, it never fails. It's just when I'm getting ready to say goodbye, a friend pops in and says hello. And I'm so sorry that we're just now getting to say, there's a horn honking. Big truck honking their horn. I hope they're okay. I'll have to look out the window and make sure somebody's not in the ditch. So, all right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week. And tune in Friday for Mama's Tangles and Yarns. Bye, guys.